Hello and welcome to Downriver Rescue Connection. I'm your host, Patty Radakovich, and it is my pleasure to bring you information on animal-related topics and the animal rescue community. Today's episode is a very special episode because it's actually our 20th episode, and so we want to thank all of the viewers who have watched us during this whole time. For those of you that are just finding us or just tuning in, you can check out our past episodes on our YouTube page, which is www.youtube.com/basilsbuddies. That's BASILSBUDDIES. Also, for those viewers that are hearing impaired, we are working on uploading captioned episodes for you. So right now we are pretty close to getting halfway through those episodes, so just keep checking back on our YouTube page and you will see those captioned episodes coming up just for you. So I wanted to welcome and bring back to the show Julia Fons, our Vice Chairman. So thanks for coming back, Julia.
My pleasure.
So, and we've heard some pretty good reviews on our show, so we think that people like it, and we're hoping that it's helping get animals adopted. And so that's what we're going to do for you today, is people have asked us what happened to all those animals that were up for adoption on the show. And we're going to actually give you updates on all of the animals and let you know if they've been adopted and let you know which ones are still available. So we're going to start off with the Basil's Buddies animals because those were the ones that we had first on the show. Yep. And right here in front of us is Panger Ben. Panger actually is one of the cats that we've had in our rescue for about 2 years. And before Julia talks about her, I want to say we had Tanner. We called him the class clown. He was on the first show. He was with our group for 2 years, the longest cat, longer than Panger, and his adoption is now pending, correct?
Yep, pending.
So we're hoping that that adoption goes through and that he moves on to his forever home.
Yes.
But Panger is another one. She's the one that has been with our group the next longest. So tell the viewers more about Panger.
Panger, as you can tell, she's being a little shy. Panger is actually about 2 years old. She came into our rescue when her foster mom, Diane, found her. She was about 6 weeks old. Someone had actually just thrown her in the ditch. She was in very poor shape, but thanks to the loving TLC of her foster mom, Diane, you can see she's now thriving and she is still looking for her forever home.
Okay, and let's see if we can get a shot of Panger in here so you can kind of see her up close and personal. She's being a little camera shy. We bring her out to a lot of adoption events, obviously, and we do give her breaks and stuff, but after a while the animals get kind of tired of being taken out of their carriers, so they really just want to find their own home, so they only have to travel once or twice a year when they go to the vet.
Correct.
So another animal that we had brought on one of our later shows was Oreo, and our volunteer Diane is going to be bringing out Oreo. And Julia is going to talk a little bit about Oreo.
Okay, yes, this is sweet little Oreo, and she is about 3 to 4 years old. She was pulled from a local shelter where her and her sister, who unfortunately had passed away, they had been sitting at the shelter for about a whole month, and no one showed any interest in adopting her. So I kept looking at her face, and I felt sorry for her, and so now she's with Basil's Buddies, and she is, if you're looking for a lap cat or a cuddler, this is the cat for you. She sleeps with us every night in bed. She has to be sleeping, touching you, and so she is still looking for her forever home. And this is Oreo.
Okay, great. So if you are interested in either Panger or Oreo, you can contact us. You can go to our website at www.basilsbuddies.org. You can also go to our Pet Finder page. You can find us on Facebook, or you can email us at info@basilsbuddies.org. And you can check out the cats. You'll find out the dates of our adoption events, and you can look at those too. And at the end of the show, we're going to actually bring out a new cat and show you who we've got up in the line next.
Yep.
So before I go on to some of the other rescues that have been on the show, for those that are just finding us, again, what we're trying to do with the show is we're trying to help promote local rescues, local shelters, and also to educate you on animal-related topics. So we have brought you information on wildlife rehabilitation, leader dogs for the blind, as well as therapeutic riding. We've had a vet tech on our show to give you some tips, and we've talked to an integrative veterinarian. We have a lot of other educational shows going to be up and coming, so keep watching. We have an exotic animal expert that's going to be coming on one of our newest episodes in a couple of weeks, so keep tuned in for that. And we're also making our way out to more shelters and talking to more rescues. So if there is a topic that you would like to see us discuss on the show, or if there is a rescue or a shelter that you think would like to be on the show, please contact us. You can do that through our website, or you can email us, or again go to our Facebook page and let us know and put us in touch with those rescues or shelters, or whatever topic you have in mind, and we will do our best to get that on a show. So I'm going to go through the different shows and update you on what happened to the animals. Early on, we had the Wyandotte Animal Control. They had brought some of their animals on one of our first episodes, and then we just visited their facility on a recent episode. I'm happy to say that the cats that they brought on the first episode, which were Silas, Dinger, and Powell, those have all been adopted. And actually, most of the animals that we visited at their facility have also been adopted. So we had seen Baxter the dog. He was a little beagle mix, and Thor, the older dog. Those have both been adopted. And then we had Jack, he was a smaller cat. He was on the smaller side. He was also adopted. And right now you can see on the screen Trapper and Harlequin. We're going to bring those two pictures up for you. Those two are still available for adoption. They are both males, and they're domestic short-hair cats. They're young. We don't have an exact age on them. But if you are interested in adopting them, you can contact the Wyandotte Animal Control Center. And the next episode, we had Paws of Michigan, and they brought in lots of animals with them. They had brought in two cats, Minnie and Louie. They've both been adopted. And they brought in two little dogs, Harley and Rosie, and those have been adopted as well. On the screen right now, you can see Princess. Princess is actually still available for adoption. To remind you of her story, she was a 3 to 4 year old Shih Tzu mix, and she came to them pregnant. All of her puppies got adopted, but she is still looking for her home. So she is spayed, she's up to date on everything, and she's ready to go, just waiting to find her perfect family. So if you are interested in Princess, please contact Paws of Michigan. On a sad note, unfortunately, so for those of you who remembered Frankie, he actually appeared on our show twice. That was the hospice animal that was being fostered by Leanna from Paws. And unfortunately, Frankie passed away from his disease in September of 2013. So you can see this is a picture of Frankie and Leanna on the screen right now. And so we wanted to thank Leanna for taking care of them. We're going to talk about some of the foster animals from Basil's, or hospice animals, excuse me, from Basil's Buddies in a little bit. But it takes a very special person to actually have a hospice animal in their home. So we want to thank her for taking him in, and thank Paws for caring for him until it was his time. After the Paws episode, we had the Downriver Central Animal Control, which is affiliated with the Wyandotte Adoption Facility, and all of the animals that came on the DCAC show, those have all been adopted. We had Princess, that was a cat that had been owner surrendered. There was a little Siamese, and there was a Min Pin mix and a Chihuahua mix. They had also brought the Burmese mountain dog that people are still asking about. He already had a home, so he was already previously adopted. But all of those, we're happy to report, have been adopted as well. The MAAAA, which is the Michigan Adoption, and I forget all parts of their name, Michigan Animal Adoption Association, and I think there's another A in there, and I apologize to them for forgetting right now. But they had brought in, they had come on 2 shows, and they brought some of their animals. They brought 2 cats, Madeline and Garland. And Madeline had been with them for about 2 years, and she finally found a home, so we're happy for Madeline. And Garland also found a home. And then Sarge was another dog that they brought with them, and Sarge has also found a home. And so I'm happy to report all of their animals had been adopted. We did get an update from the Trenton Woodhaven shelter, and all of the animals that were seen on that episode have all been adopted, so that was very good to hear. Now, if you guys remember, for those of you who have seen the episodes, the Friends of Michigan Animal Rescue, FMAR, we went out to their facility and filmed in their cat room, and there was probably 100 cats in the cat room. We went to see their dogs and everything. Since we had so many cats and dogs over there and we didn't focus on any specific ones, I just asked them to give me a report on how many animals came through their facility and had been adopted this year. So I'm happy to say that they took in 201 cats and 89 dogs in 2013, and they adopted out 208 cats and 89 dogs. So we're very happy to report that. Congratulations to FMAR on your efforts and for helping to save all of those animals and for giving them all great homes. Next, we went out to Loving Arm Rescue Ranch, and we talked to Mary, and remember they had a lot of animals besides just the dogs and cats. So we had seen some of their horses and their St. Bernard mix Gunther, which is, he's up on the screen right now. Gunther is still looking for his forever home. Gunther is a senior St. Bernard mix, except he's very, very playful, if you remember from the video, so he doesn't act like a senior at all. He's still looking for a home. The two cats, Tiger and Reggie, that were on the episode, those have been adopted, so we're happy to report they have their own home. Sylvia, if you remember her, I don't have a picture of her, I apologize, but she was an FIV positive cat with no teeth, so she had to eat the wet food. She was a little gray cat. She is still looking for her forever home, so if anybody is interested, you can contact Loving Arm Rescue Ranch. And then we're bringing up a picture right now of Mo. Mo is the 15-year-old Polish Arabian horse, and he is also still looking for his forever home. So if you're interested in any of those animals, please contact Loving Arm Rescue Ranch. The next group that we had on the show that brought animals was Chained. And Chained, if you remember, they had brought Grace and Spirit. Spirit was a dog that had needed a lot of socialization, had been abused, and was very closed in, was underneath the chair, kind of hiding. I'm happy to report that Spirit actually has been adopted and is doing very well in the new home.
Awesome.
Grace is still looking for her home. She's actually, what they're looking for is a home for a foster to adopt. The home that she was in, she needs a lower stress home. So she needs a home with less stress because unfortunately the mange that she had, which is the Demodex, it's not the contagious mange, has come back, and that's what happens sometimes when animals are in stressful situations. And so they're looking for somebody that has a low stress environment. Grace is very dog selective, so some dogs she does well with, some dogs she does not. And if you think you might be a good home for Grace, please contact Chained. They would be happy to discuss the situation with you, and they're willing to do a foster to adopt because they want to make sure that she is back to full health before they actually do the adoption. She is 1.5 years old, and she is up to date on everything and spayed as well. Okay, and so then we had, going off of the dogs and the cats, we actually had Wonderland Rabbit Rescue on our show. And they brought a bunch of rabbits with them. So their rabbits are still available for adoption because they were just on the show recently. And first you can see Nala and Simba. They are about 3 years old. They are lionhead rabbits and are a bonded pair. So these two have to be adopted together. Next you'll see a picture of Thor. Thor is the lap rabbit, and the lap rabbits are the ones that's ears go down. And he is still available for adoption as well. And next is Slick Willy. Slick Willy is a lionhead mix, so he doesn't have the mane like the other lionheads, and he's also one of the white rabbits with the red eyes, and he is also still looking for his home. So those are all of the animals that had come on our show that were available for adoption. And like I said, I just wanted to give everybody updates because people write into us and they ask us, you know, what happened to these animals? Are they still available? Can you provide us with updates? And so I'm happy to report, like I said, that most of them actually have been adopted. And we hope that our show has helped to facilitate some of those adoptions and for, you know, reaching new audiences. Now, I had said at the beginning that I was going to update you on the hospice animals for Basil's buddies. So we had brought 2 hospice animals on the various shows. Gibbs was a cat that stays at Julia's house, and then Crandall's a dog that stays at my house. So, Julia, I'm bringing a picture up of Gibbs right now, so why don't you let everybody know how Gibbs is doing?
Gibbs is doing fine. He's being spoiled, loves being spoiled. He's a true lap cat. Unfortunately, he still has the enlarged heart issue, which is why he's a hospice kitty. We don't know how much time he has, but for whatever time he has left with us, he's being well cared for, spoiled rotten, and he's just a happy camper.
Great. We're always glad to hear that they are doing well. And then if you remember Crandall, he was our demo dog for the tech show. Crandall is one that I have at my house, and you can see his picture up right here. This is him laying on the couch. And Crandall is doing wonderful. When I first got him in, we thought he was just a senior dog, just another senior dog, and it turns out that he has a lung disease. And so we are treating him for that, keeping him comfortable. The vet really only thought that he had a few months. That was back in July. It's now January of the new year, so he's surpassed her expectations. I found that he is definitely a snow dog. He loves the snow. It's hard to get him back inside. Every time I try to get a picture of him with all the snow covering his face, he shakes it all off before I can grab my phone. But he's having a good old time, and I just let him be happy and try to keep him healthy until his time is up. So those two are doing very well.
Very good, yes.
And so that's our report on our hospice animals. And then, as I promised, we have a new cat that we are bringing out here.
She's a little fractious. Come on.
This is Delilah, and I'm sure you guys have seen a theme. We have all of these black and white kitties with us today.
This is Delilah. She's actually about just a little bit over a year old, and she was actually surrendered to our vet because her previous owner no longer wanted her and her kitten Chester, who happens to have an adoption pending. But Delilah is still looking for her forever home. She gets along great with other cats. She likes to cuddle and sleep. She's just a very good kitty. And like I said, she wants to find her forever home too. And this is Delilah.
Great.
So you don't get to run camera.
And we do have some other ones that we didn't bring with us today, but can you talk about some of the other cats that we have available for adoption?
Yes, we have Jackson. Jackson is probably about going on 4 to 5 years old. He's an all-black male, neutered, gets along with other cats. He's a little stressed right now because he's trying to find his place in our pack, but other than that, he's doing fine. We also have Butch and Sundance. They're two bonded brothers. We would prefer that they get adopted together just because they've been together for so long and they're a little on the shy and timid side. So their preferred forever home would be a nice quiet home, preferably no kids, loud rambunctious children.
And they're orange domestic short hairs,
Orange
right?
domestic short hairs, yes. Butch is the one that has white, I think, mostly white. He's got some white on him as well. And then who else do we have? I'm trying to think. I just drew a blank.
We've got.
I think that's
it right now. Yeah. We've got some adoptions pending, so that's good. It's sometimes in rescue it's feast or famine. Sometimes you go for a while without any interest, and then all of a sudden it's like you have 10 people interested in the same cat, which has happened. And we've had some kittens that have come into the group recently that haven't
even make it to Pet Finder.
Yep, they didn't even make it to Pet Finder because we already had homes for them, and that's just the way it happens in rescue sometimes.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Well, again, I wanted to thank all of you who have been watching our show faithfully, whether you're watching on the TV or you're watching us on YouTube. We really appreciate you watching the shows. We hope that you get something out of it. And like I said, for those of you that are just finding us and just tuning in, check out our YouTube page for past episodes. It's www.youtube.com/Basil'sBuddies. And also for people who are hearing impaired, we have captioned episodes that we are putting up on our YouTube page as well. And I also want to give a big thank you to all of the volunteers that help make this show possible. I know you see their names at the end on the credits after every show, but we have our crew that's with us. There's Elena, who is our director, Pat, who's kind of a jack of all trades and goes in whatever position we ask him to, Jane and Christina, who help out on audio or on camera and other visuals, Amber, who usually does the audio for us, Sophie, who does camera work, and all the people that have come and gone. We really appreciate the fact that you help out with the shows, because obviously we couldn't have a show without the volunteers. We're also looking for more volunteers, so if you would like to, if you like our show and want to learn more about the TV aspect of things, give us a call or email us. Go to our website, find us on Facebook, and just send us a message and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer for the TV show, and we will be in touch with you and see how you can help out. Well, we all look forward to a day when all pets are treated like family and everyone has a home. Until that time, we invite you to be part of the solution. And remember, please spay and neuter your pets. See you next time.